The NBA offseason just keeps heating up, and what we're seeing unfold right now might go down as one of the wildest moments in league history. We're talking about a potential trade involving 7 different teams. Yeah, you heard that right. 7. If this goes through, it would surpass the record for the biggest trade ever in the NBA, which until now belonged to that 6-team deal that went down last year. And guess what? The centerpiece of that historic move was none other than Klay Thompson, making his way to the Dallas Mavericks. But now the focus shifts to something even bigger, even more chaotic. And we're here to break it all down. Let's start with what we know. The deal being discussed involves the Rockets and Suns as the driving forces, working to expand the previous Kevin Durant trade into something monumental. Other teams reportedly involved include the Hawks, Nets, Warriors, Lakers, and Timberwolves. That gives us 5 Western Conference squads, and from the East, all trying to piece this puzzle together. It's complex, it's messy, and it's very much still in motion. But pieces are starting to fall into place. Digging into the early reports, the outline starts to get a little clearer. This mega deal is all about combining previous agreements, specifically a bunch of draft night trades and sign-in trade deals, into one enormous transaction that helps teams balance their salary caps and finalize moves that have been in the works for weeks. Some of these trades were already agreed upon during the draft, but couldn't be completed until after July 6th, which means the timing is now. One of the names floating heavily in this chaos is Kevin Durant. Yes, KD is rumored to be heading to Houston of all places in a move that would certainly shake up the Western Conference. The Rockets, already an up-and-coming squad, would instantly become a serious threat with Durant in the mix. And if that wasn't enough, they're reportedly also getting Clint Capela from the Atlanta Hawks via sign-in trade. That's a major front court upgrade, folks. In exchange, we're hearing that players like Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks would be heading to Phoenix. That's an interesting package for the Suns, especially if they're trying to restructure their depth and balance out a top-heavy roster. The idea seems to be that Phoenix still wants to stay competitive in the West, and acquiring young talent like Green could be a way to do that, while offloading some of their heavier contracts. Meanwhile, the Warriors are working their own angles. There's been talk of Jonathan Kuminga heading to the Kings, with Malik Monk being rerouted to the Pistons and Dennis Schroeder also landing in Sacramento. As part of a separate but related deal, these moves are aimed at clearing up cap space, maximizing value from expiring deals, and potentially putting Golden State in a better position to rebuild on the fly. One of the names tied to the Warriors is Alex Tully, a young shooter they're reportedly acquiring via the Suns as part of this web of transactions. He's already been seen with the Warriors organization shooting round getting introduced. Clearly that part of the deal is already in motion. Now, before we get too deep into the possibilities, let's remember that most of this still hinges on pending sign-in trade agreements and salary cap gymnastics. We're talking about a complex maneuver here with the goal of satisfying all 7 franchises and keeping everyone under the dreaded second apron of the luxury tax. For teams like the Warriors, that second apron is a big deal. They're already limited in what they can offer free agents and have to be extremely careful about who they bring in. That's where decisions around players like Jonathan Kuminga become so critical. If he commands a salary in the 15 to 25 million range, that limits what the team can do elsewhere. If he takes the qualifying offer, around 7.8 million, and bets on himself, then he becomes an unrestricted free agent next year, opening up more immediate cap flexibility for Golden State. But let's be honest, folks, even with the potential space, there just aren't a ton of exciting free agents still available. The center position in particular remains a glaring weakness for the Warriors. They need size. They need someone who can hold it down in the paint. But who's left? Ball has been mentioned by fans. Sure, he's intriguing, but he's not giving you that physical post presence. He's more of a shot blocker and floor spacer than a true bruiser down low. Thomas Bryant, he was in the NBA Finals but didn't exactly light it up. Jackson Hayes is reportedly on his way out of LA. Al Horford is still sitting out there, but he's clearly in the twilight of his career. Adrien Jordan is well past his prime. There are a few names that could potentially help. Brook Lopez was briefly mentioned. Alex Len could be a serviceable backup with a solid post game. Mo Wagner is surprisingly still unsigned. His shooting and mobility could make him a sneaky good fit in Golden State's system. But none of these guys are needle movers, and that's the harsh reality the Warriors are facing. The market is thin, and unless they pull off something unexpected, it's hard to see where the big upgrade comes from. When it comes to guards, it's a similar story. They need bench scoring. They need someone who can take the pressure off Steph and Klay, especially during the regular season. Malik Beasley is not an option due to ongoing legal issues. Josh Giddey is still unsigned, but he's probably looking for a big payday. D'Angelo Russell could be an interesting fit as a backup point guard, especially if he's willing to come off the bench and embrace a smaller role. Shake Milton is out there, but coming off injury, he's more of a gamble than a guarantee. So in the middle of all this, the Warriors are kind of stuck. They're trying to stay competitive. They're trying to work within the financial constraints of the new CBA, and they're trying to avoid going into full rebuild mode. This potential 7-team trade, as massive as it sounds, might actually be more about tying up loose ends than reshaping the league. Most of the moves are just formalizing agreements that were already in place. And the big names outside of Durant and Capela aren't exactly game changers. But that doesn't mean this isn't important. Far from it. The ripple effects of this trade could reshape the middle tier of the NBA, role players, draft picks, young talent. These are the kinds of assets that help good teams become great and bad teams start to rebuild. And for the Warriors, every little move matters. They're in a transition phase. The dynasty isn't officially over, but it's clearly entering a new chapter. And how they handle this offseason, every signing, every trade, every draft pick will shape what comes next. We're going to keep watching this story as it develops, because if there's one thing we know about the NBA offseason, it's that nothing stays quiet for long. Moves are happening fast and everything could shift in an instant. For now, though, all eyes are on this mega deal. 7 teams, dozens of players and picks, and one very uncertain future. And while this 7-team mega trade might not seem like it includes headline-grabbing superstars outside of Kevin Durant, it is the kind of structural shift that has long-term implications. What these trades often do is reset the ecosystem, reallocating depth, shaking up second units, and giving rising stars a clearer path to minutes. Teams like the Rockets and the Suns are thinking ahead, not just about next season, but about the 3, even for years down the road. Durant joining Houston would be a massive statement about their ambition, signaling they're done with rebuilding and ready to contend now. At the same time, by moving Jalen Green, they're cashing in on a young asset while he still holds value. Dylan Brooks' exit might raise some eyebrows given his defensive tenacity, but the chemistry concerns were always looming. The Suns, in turn, would be repositioning themselves with a new identity. Bringing in a young dynamic scorer like Green could offer some balance to their current roster construction, which leans heavily on established stars. If they're looking to avoid burning out guys like Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, then retooling the bench and adding versatile wing scorers becomes essential. This is less about grabbing attention and more about getting durable, dynamic options for the long haul. And then there's the Warriors. This team is in the strangest spot it's been in over a decade. They're not quite ready to tear it all down, but the core that delivered multiple championships isn't what it once was. The aging curve is real, and with Klay Thompson now gone, the emotional heartbeat of the dynasty has taken a hit. That's why so much hinges on what they do with Jonathan Kuminga. He represents the next wave. Young, athletic, versatile, but he also commands serious money now. If the Warriors believe he's the future, they have to pay up and build around him. If not, they need to move him while his value is high. Malik Monk being shuffled to the Pistons might seem like a side note, but he's another piece that teams are betting on. Sacramento giving him up means they're recalibrating their roster, maybe putting more faith in their current guard rotation or shifting toward more playmaking from the forward spots. In return, Dennis Schroeder provides a veteran presence with playoff experience and the kind of defensive grit that coaches value come April and May. For the Pistons, Monk offers something they've lacked for years: consistent scoring and energy off the bench. It's a quiet move, but one that can help stabilize a team still trying to find its identity. Let's go back to Golden State, because the details around Alex Tully matter here. This is not just a random second-round guy being passed around. The Warriors targeted him. He fits their mold. Hayek, good shooter, mobile enough to switch defensively, and still raw enough to be molded. Bringing him in, especially with the Summer League around the corner, suggests they're planning to integrate him early, maybe even fast-track his development. The video clips surfacing of him already practicing, interacting with team staff, getting settled, those aren't minor signs. This is a prospect the Warriors are excited about, and in the background of all this, there's still the looming silence around Al Horford. As of now, no movement. He's a name that keeps popping up in Warriors fan circles, partly because of his leadership, partly because of his ability to stretch the floor and anchor a defense in small bursts. But time is ticking. If a team like the Lakers swoops in with a decent offer, Golden State could be left empty-handed again. The urgency is there, and so far nothing has materialized. Speaking of urgency, that second apron is like a brick wall for the Warriors. They're staring it down, trying to find any wiggle room. That's why the numbers matter so much. If Kuminga signs for the low end of his projected deal, say around $15 million, that gives the front office a bit more space. But if it creeps closer to 25, the options dry up quickly. Taking the qualifying offer, which would be under $8 million, would be a gamble for Kuminga. But it might also give him the freedom he wants in a year's time. From a team-building standpoint, that's the kind of short-term flexibility Golden State desperately needs. Now let's not ignore the free agent board. It's thin, almost barren. The idea that you can just dip into free agency and patch up holes isn't realistic anymore. The new CBA makes it punishing for repeat tax offenders. And with the Warriors' current payroll, they're already operating with a rather thin margin. That's why these trades, even the smaller ones, carry so much weight. A second-rounder here, a rotation guard there. These are the pieces that could tip a season. When you start parsing through what's left on the market, you see the challenge clearly. At center, there's not much that moves the needle. Ball remains a theoretical unicorn, but no team has managed to unlock his full potential. Thomas Bryant has been around, but hasn't proven he can anchor a defense or stay consistent. Jackson Hayes might be on the way out of LA. But the question is why Al Horford would be a good fit but comes with age and health concerns. Adri Jordan is well past his productive years. Mo Wagner, interestingly, is still unsigned. That's a head-scratcher. He can shoot, he has good footwork, and he's tough. Qualities that would work in Steve Kerr's system, but maybe the asking price is too high, or maybe he's holding out for a bigger role. Brook Lopez, if still in play, would be a dream scenario. The kind of veteran presence and shot blocking the Warriors haven't had since Andrew Bogut. In the guard market, you've got a few more names, but none without question marks. D'Angelo Russell could make a homecoming if the role and price are right. He knows the system has chemistry with Steph and can run the second unit. Shake Milton is recovering, but if healthy, he could offer scoring off the bench. Josh Giddey likely wants starter money and minutes. That's not going to happen in the Bay. Malik Beasley is a non-starter due to his legal troubles. There's also a growing belief that the Warriors could stand pat and wait. Not just because options are limited, but because they might be betting on internal growth. Moses Moody has shown flashes. Brandon Pajimski is coming off a promising rookie year. If they believe in their development pipeline, they might roll into next season with a few young pieces stepping into bigger roles. It's risky, but not unprecedented. They've done it before. Sometimes you have to trust your system. Still, the uncertainty is palpable. This is a team in flux. Steph Curry remains elite, but he can't do it alone. The window isn't closed, but it's definitely narrower. Every move now is about maximizing the last few years of Curry's prime, without overcommitting the bad contracts or short-sighted decisions. That's why this 7-team trade, even if it's just formalizing earlier deals, matters. It's a chance to reconfigure, to get leaner, smarter, and set up for a future that still includes winning. So here we are, July 3rd, waiting for dominoes to fall. Draft picks, sign trades, veteran free agents, all circling the rumor mill while teams try to finalize rosters before training camp. The Warriors, like everyone else, are watching closely. They know the stakes. The next few days could define their season, maybe even the next few years. The reality is there's no magic fix, no savior walking through that door. Just a series of calculated risks, development bets, and maybe a little luck. That's the NBA now. Complicated, interconnected, and always just one surprise move away from a complete reshuffle. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Could the Golden State Warriors be preparing to make one of the most unexpected signings of the offseason, according to whispers circulating in NBA circles and social media buzz from international hoops insiders? Filipino sensation Sotto may have just signed with the Warriors, or at least that's the growing rumor. While no official announcement has come from the franchise or the players' camp, multiple speculative reports suggest that the 7'3" center has either inked a deal or is in the final stages of doing so with Golden State. The alleged move, though unconfirmed, has already sparked excitement among fans in the Philippines and curiosity within the wider NBA community. Sotto, who went undrafted in 2022, has been on the radar of various NBA teams, thanks to his unique combination of size, touch around the rim, and high basketball IQ. He has spent time with the Adelaide 36ers in Australia's NBL as well as the Hiroshima Dragonflies in Japan's B.League, showing flashes of promise. His international profile has continued to grow, and the idea of a young, skilled big man joining a veteran Warriors squad is enough to raise eyebrows. Some insiders speculate that the Warriors, looking to infuse fresh size and talent into their front court, see Sotto as a long-term developmental piece, with Kevin Looney's role in question and Draymond Green not getting any younger. Adding a young big with upside might be part of a broader retooling strategy. Could Sotto become the next hidden gem in the Warriors system, much like Jordan Poole or even Jonathan Kuminga? Of course, nothing is confirmed yet. The rumor remains just that, a rumor. But in today's NBA, where smoke often leads to fire, it wouldn't be surprising if the Warriors took a swing on a high-upside international prospect, especially one with a passionate fan base and global appeal. Until something official drops, fans are left to wonder, is Kai Sotto really heading to the Bay Area? Or is this just another case of off-season speculation running wild? Either way, the buzz is real, and the NBA world is paying attention. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.